back to Power Up with Pride 2021, and so we did get another donation, a $14 donation by Rujasu55, and the comment reads, "Let's get this glitch and send him that." And yeah, we definitely want to see that. One other thing that we'll be doing is that, due to how awesome our runners have been doing, the glitch exclamation will probably be a little bit longer than we originally planned on. So we definitely want to see all the amazing glitches in the multiplayer. And with that, I think I'll let Focus start on the run. So good luck.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard of me before, my name is Focusite, or just Focus. Third time here running actually at Power Up with Pride, and I'm very happy to be here yet again. This is such a lovely foundation and a lovely organization, especially during Pride Month. Speaking of which, I actually really fun to say about Silver. So Silver Story, no credit warp is the category we're running for today in Sonic 06. It was formerly called No Mission Select Glitch or No MSG, but because of recent findings, we found ways to do credits warp without MSG. We just banned the credits warp, which is the whole premise of this. It means you need to beat most of the game. There's still sequence breaks, of course, but you can't just warp to the credits from like 25% in. Something really fun, actually. The voice actor for Silver, his name actually misses me at this point, just recently went on Twitter and basically said, hey, Silver is here for the LGBT community, and also not to mention that Silver's ending theme was written by a gay man about his ex-boyfriend. So, Silver is for us, everyone. Canonically, officially, definitely is. I wanted to say that because it actually made me really happy to hear that. But yeah, so Silver's story is very tech-heavy. There's going to be a lot of explanation, so I will be talking fairly quickly at the beginning of the run, but I will slow down into things and we'll chill out, we'll mellow out by the time we get into it all, and it should be very fun. One last thing I want to mention is that on this file, I have Sonic completed to 93%. This is because I want to access his gems. If everything goes to plan, we won't even need to be using Sonic in Silver's story, but it's always good to have this as a backup. So, are we ready on time over in Restream? Alrighty then. I'll give us a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! So, first things first, we have a major trick that starts off this run called Telethrow. This was found fairly recently, less than a year ago, despite this game being active in speedrunning for about 14 years. Essentially, as Silver here, you can lift objects by standing on them and pressing RT. If you do that, though, and then try to throw the object by pressing X, it will throw Silver, it will make Silver jump, and it will throw the object down at a 45-degree angle. The issue is, as you can see, if you're standing at a greater than 45-degree angle, the game's like, oh, you're moving. That's cool. And so you get to ride on the object as you throw it. You essentially launch yourself like a slingshot, constantly, repeatedly, on any object. This is game-breaking, more than anything else in Silver's story, and Silver's story was already pretty high-octane before that finding. This is the perfect example of a trick that is easy to learn but hard to master. Now over here, I'm going to skip Blaze, a normally required character, for this section by using something called levitation extensions, or LEs. So Silver's Stun Slap is a very strange move in this game. It has weird momentum properties, and it stores the momentum of any action as long as that action is done on the last frame of animation of it. So our hover can be stored in the Stun Slap if we press X and hold X on the final frame of animation of it. Just going to telethrow over here, going to hold X into this load zone. There we go. And so that's useful because the hover is faster than your normal fall by about 1 meter per second. And it also means when you hold X at this state, Silver's action gauge, the bar at the bottom right that limits all his actions, will increase actually as you hover, giving you more hover and also further speed. Now, the reason why I was holding slap on the previous screen was because I wanted to do a frame buffered input on this screen. So a frame buffered input is if you're holding an input going into a load screen, and you release it the frame after, you release it the frame you release it on the load screen, the game reads that as a first frame press of whatever button you were holding. So for instance, I was holding X and Blaze's homing attack is X, or her fire claw as it's known. And so, because I held X and then released on the loading screen, the game registered that as being a frame 1 input of that button. Allows you to break out of automation as Blaze in certain locations, and it's useful in that regard. And there we go, that's Crisis City, the first stage of the run already done. And then we get on to our first boss in the run, which is Iblis Phase 1. He also has a Phase 3 variety, but we do not fight his Phase 2 variety in this run. It's actually something you fight in the other 2 stories. And this is our first chance to look at Silver's combat mechanics. So Silver has some really unique combat, given he uses his psychokinesis in certain ways. So let's talk about how exactly this works. So Silver can pick up objects and throw them by holding RT and then pressing X. But the important thing is the order in which you pick up objects. So, Silver can throw objects, but they're thrown exactly in the order you pick them up. So over here, this big one's going to be picked up first, and then I want to curve to my left so that the other objects don't block it. And then I'm going to get right here, going to wait for him to close his arms. Throw. There we go. Nice. There we go. Got some early hits there on Iblis. The other thing to mention is you don't want to just barrel hits on certain bosses because they have invincibility frames. So timing your hits is more effective than just throwing everything at once, because if you manage to throw it at the wrong time, it will extend the invincibility frames it has, and then you just have wasted all your ammo and time. Very clean Iblis 1 right there, though. Getting anything below 40 seconds is really good. So, you might be wondering what the plot of this game is. I haven't watched the cutscenes in 8 years, so I'm not too sure myself, but I think it goes something like this. Devil in future with 14-year-old psychokinetic boy and cat come together to stop the future from being bad because evil, not Shadow, basically insists that a 16-year-old from the past is the reason why the devil exists now. That is essentially the premise of Silver's story. And so we have to find our favorite... I think he's 15. I think Sonic's 15 in this, actually. I don't think he turns 16 until Generations. But basically, we have to destroy him, because he's the reason why the devil exists, apparently. And so we're going to use Telethrow yet again. Telethrow is, again, super useful, because all you need is an object you can lift. There are some... notable minutiae that are important to mention, though, when you're telethrowing. So, Silver can face different directions before he lifts, and as soon as you lift an object, the game locks that facing position. And so if you don't have an object or an enemy or something to aim onto, because it acts as a normal throw, it would hone in on enemies and certain objects. If you don't have that around you, it's going to throw it in the direction that you face. And it's interesting because at steep angles, it sort of changes and adjusts how you can move around the stage. But that's the main premise of it. You just get over here, setting up the box. So this is enough steepness here. And so I can, for instance, face forward to get the most height. And then I'm going to face to my right here to throw to the right. Not gaining a lot of height, but I am getting further to that direction than I otherwise could. So those slight adjustments are really important to ensure that you guide objects in the right way instead of just going straight forward or something. The other thing is the steepness of the object does matter. It influences how high it will go, because again, the game tries to throw it at like 45 degrees. If you're more offset than that, then you're actually going to save time. Oh. I accidentally didn't split. It's okay. So I just done another frame buffered input here. I was holding X on save, and I'm letting go here on the load screen, because we're going to break out of automation here as Blaze, and do something really fun called the loop launch. This is essentially a 360 exclusive glitch, because, well, the premise of it isn't, but this specific application is. So I'm also using the 360 release. I should have mentioned that earlier, and we'll explain why in some time. But, oh, okay, let's try that again. I want to get Cat go very fast through stage, so... too early. So I'm trying to align myself and do a homing attack to somewhere else in the stage. There we go. That's a loop launch. Basically, it uses something called the whiff. The homing attack whiff is a continued homing attack. It will perpetuate until you hit some sort of geometry again. And now we're going to charge it for an AFC. This is an advanced fire claw, though it should be called the advanced spinning claw. Bit of a misnomer. Oh. That's okay, I hit the checkpoint. So the AFC is something strange with this move called the Spinning Claw. Come on. Come on. So I'm building up speed here on this rail. And I'm trying to do some really funky inputs with X. It's not the easiest trick in the world. Let's see if I get it here. Okay, this is real. Good. So this is the advanced fire claw. It involves a spinning claw. As Blaze, you can hold X to charge this move that allows you to go, well, build up speed. Ooh. Oh no. That's not fun. I'm just gonna finish the stage normally. But I'll explain what exactly that does. So the AFC there, I didn't have enough speed. That was the issue. The AFC is a way of maintaining speed in the game, in Sonic 06, as Blaze. So she normally has this move that's the spinning claw does this. It allows you to attack enemies constantly on the ground. But the thing is, if you manage to charge it in the charge it on the ground and release it in the air, for some reason the game extends the duration of it by about 2 to 3 times. From there, the game then decides if you jump and then release X the frame after you jump, and only that frame, you'll also maintain momentum of wherever you were before. So for instance, the rail speed was maintained there. So I was able to try to get all the way over here, but unfortunately I was a little bit too slow and couldn't get up the side of the island. This is a rough stage in the early run, unfortunately, and sometimes it can go well, sometimes it can go a bit eh. And unfortunately it went a bit eh, but you know, we live and learn.
Complain.
All right.
Any time
So-
for action or
Unfortunately, not right now. There's a lot still to explain. I apologize for that.
worries?
I think we should have some time in about 5 minutes? 5 minutes. I'll make sure to prompt you on that. I'm so sorry. I know there's a lot going on with 06, and I want to make sure that I'm explaining everything properly and not losing track of some important things to mention. So at this point in the run, we would normally, at this point in the game, you're normally supposed to do a mission called Mission 8. And it's supposed to unlock a gate to Dusty Desert by you basically help the mayor who exists in this game, Lord Regis, and he gives you permission to go into a desert, which is, I guess, cool. But instead of doing that, we're going to use something called a lift exploit. So in Sonic 06, as Silver, if you are able to place a flat object against a flat ceiling, you can force the game to push you through the roof, or the ceiling, wherever you are. So we're going to take these boxes. They can be a little bit unhelpful sometimes. I'm going to push it into this this right corner here. I'm going to lift. I'm going to jump out like there, and there you go. We clipped out of bounds with that. And so we can skip having to do Mission 8 entirely. It's a really easy way of getting out of bounds as Silver in the early game. But it can be a little bit more tricky in the late game. Sorry. I misspoke there. Essentially, this becomes irrelevant in the late game because we have other means of clipping out of bounds that are significantly more consistent and not object reliant. But for the moment, since we are limited in Silver's capacities, we pretty much have to rely on objects to do most of anything. However, we have some pretty good objects here in Dusty Desert, and this is a fun one. Keep your eyes open, everyone. So I'm going to try to push this onto its back like so. I'm going to clip out of bounds here. Gonna wait a little bit. It was a little bit slow. Go out of bounds here, pick up the pot, and we're gonna wait. It's gonna have a large wave coming in a little bit of time, and it's gonna clip this out of bounds for us. Those of you who have seen what we've been doing with Telethrow so far might know what comes next. So, I'm gonna let this pot settle in a certain way. Drop it like so. There we go, perfect. I'm gonna jump on it like this. Align myself like so, and Telethrow time. I need to be careful here not to go too high up, because there's a death plane above me. There's also a death plane to the right of me. Perfect. And this is the final room of the area. Done in less than a minute. Really slick Dusty Desert. That did save us some time. And yeah, that's the power of Telethrow. That stage used to be over 2 minutes at best, when we were doing previous strats that involved many of those lift exploits and then trying to run across out-of-bounds seams. Hovering being the most effective way to get across the entire arena. Not anymore. We just crushed the game. Alright, so now's a good time for a few donations, because this boss is pretty simple. It's funny, but it's simple. So if you have anything you'd like to say, feel free to go right ahead.
We have quite a few donations. We have $50 from Beatner. No comment, but thank you. And we have $20 from Alster. And it says, donate because that live and learn pun may be grown. Congrats, Focus.
Yay! I've become what I've sought to destroy.
And we also have $100 from aka the cupcakes, the previous runner, and the comment reads, "Look, I know I said 5 blocks of this, but I've never been good at math. Thank you again, PUWP, for having me. I cannot wait to do it again. Now I need to eat like 1,000,000 tacos. Math. Let me see. We also met the glitch exhibition now. Let's go.
Woo! You got me for another like 35 minutes after this run. Whoops. Oops.
Looks like I'm on a roll.
Yeah, Wave Ocean Blaze, I'm not gonna let Wave Ocean Blaze get the better of me. That stage, I did any percent, which involves using the credits warp. Any percent is brutal, because it all comes down to that stage. You can only do the credits warp on the hub world after Wave Ocean Blaze, and trying to get all that done correctly is really hard, because it's a single frame input. You need to build up speed by pressing and mashing X, and then somehow jump release X, which means you need to hold X in the middle of your mashes, and it's hard, to say the least. But we're not going to talk about Wave Ocean Blaze anymore. We're going to talk about the next thing that would normally happen in this game. And if you've seen a trend of something, you can tell we do stuff in the hub worlds that the game doesn't expect. That is the main premise of everything here, it seems. So normally at this point, you want to get something called the Shock Bracelet. It allows you to do a move called Psycho Shock. Think of it like a stun move that acts like a ground pound. I hold X, and it sends me straight down into the ground, and it stuns enemies in a certain radius. Super useful thing. Normally, we're going to skip it. And we're going to skip it for 2 notable reasons that will become more apparent as we get through the run. Instead, we're going to cause a traffic violation, because that's really fun. So I'm going to get this no access, no parking, emergency access only sign. I'm going to push it against this wall, let it drop, pick it up again, push it against here, walk right. There we go. That's all it took to clip. And it's really fun because that used to be a very difficult clip in. There used to be, you'd have to get a box outside the realm, like where it is. You'd have to move it all the way over, or you do a really difficult trick called a telelaunch. We will see that later still, so keep your eyes peeled. But instead, we can just push sign against laser, clip through victory. And that's all we need, really. Alright, so this is the last time we'll see Blaze. I'm hoping she'll be a lot nicer to me than in the Wave Ocean variety. So you might notice, oh, okay, that's new. Tree caught me. You might notice it says it defeat all the enemies. Nah, the game developers were really nice and put a small hole there on the right. It's literally just a hole. The lasers don't align properly, so you could just, like, jump through there. And I didn't even get hit, which is neat. I'm now going to align myself with the left side here. I suppose it's Blaze's right side. Directionality, it's weird. And we're going to try for an AFC again. We're going to try for this here. It's the more of a risky one, this one, because if you mess it up, you can potentially get yourself locked in a state that means you have to restart the stage. So let's see. I'm going to go for it. Okay, once more. Once more. For the fans. Come on. So yeah, I'm holding X, I'm trying to jump and release on the frame after. There we go. Clip through there. There we go. Still saved time over trying to defeat the enemies down there normally. So in Sonic 06, pretty much all you need to clip through anything is the right speed, geometry, and angle, and you've got it. Which is what we can do there. The dash pad speed is preserved in our spinning claw, and we get to clip through. Now I get telethrow time. A lot of telethrows. Whoop. Come on. Telethrow time. Get over here. Gonna get on this not barrel. I'm playing DK64 too much. Gonna get on, oh. Gonna get here. I'm gonna try to throw again. Yeah, so the issue with that is if you see that happen, Silver's not steep enough. It will just do the normal throw as before, and that's not what you want to see. So I'm trying my best. These boulders are kind of difficult to gauge your angle on, to be honest. Like, is this good enough? Apparently it is. I don't know what I hit there. That's okay. So we have an enemy here. It takes multiple hits, so we're going to try to use the things around us while we can. So instead of having to wait for it to be stunned by throwing both of its arms, we can just go through the stage like that. And we're going to hopefully boulder to victory. Come on. Oh, is that steep enough? Just barely. Actually, that's better, because... There you go. You can stay really close to the ground, but still get a lot of that speed. But I was so worried there for a lot there.
That was easy.
All right. We're getting on to a new boss. Well, a new boss. Yeah, we haven't experienced this boss before. So this is Egg Genesis. This is also a boss in Sonic's story. And funny enough, a lot of casual players use the weakness from Silver's story in Sonic's story. The bottom of it is supposed to only be weak to Silver, but they left that in Sonic, and most people actually fight the boss that way. This is a cyclic boss. It takes 6 hits per cycle, or sorry, 6 hits per cycle and 4 cycles. That's 24 hits in total. What we're going to try to do with this boss is to pick up 12 hits worth at the very beginning. Get a ring, please. Get a ring, please. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And now we're going to recharge our action gauge. Pick up missiles. Oh, come on. Oh, one off? One off? Oh, so yeah, you want to get 2 cycles worth at the very end as well. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to restart that. Wow. Wow, everything was not going for me there. I'm really sorry. So if you have any more donations or things you'd like to mention, feel free to go right ahead. I'm gonna concentrate on this boss.
Okay, so I think I'll mention another bib board, or not bib board, but incentive that's coming up. So for GoldenEye 007, that run, we'll have like the Aztec and Egypt on this incentive as well, and that's currently sitting at $37 out of 800. So we still have quite a bit of ways to go on that, and the run isn't good. It's not that long before that run starts, so you'll want to get donations for that as well.
Oh, it's stuck. There we go. That's good.
And also we also have $7.50 for Mushy, and the card reads, Mushy's here to deliver more sales of their game. Remember, if you buy a copy of the official game of PUWP 2020 from bit.ly/mushy sale, it will be donation to the Trevor Project. Let's get those special GoldenEye levels.
Absolutely. Alright, so now everyone, you've all experienced the psychokinetic thrill of Silver the Hedgehog. You've experienced what it means to have the passionate, fiery spirit of Blaze the Cat. But I don't think anyone here has experienced true speed. We're not ready for speed, everyone. We're not ready. Everyone brace yourselves. It's time to actually go fast in this video game. Not like anything else before wasn't fast, but it's time to go really fast. And how are we going to do that, of course? We're going to play the best mission in the entire game, a required mission. We've already skipped one mission. Why not skip another one? Well, we can't, because we have to play as Amy. We must play as Amy. There's no other way we have to do this. And yeah, Amy is a character. She exists in the video game released in 2006, November 14th to be specific. She can use her Pico Pico hammer. Not like in previous games, but she can use it. And so it pretty much feels like I'm playing Resident Evil at this point. And so we're just gonna go around slowly and use a single weapon multiple times. Yeah, there aren't really many ways to speed this up. And this is where I want to mention a little bit about the version differences, actually. So we use the 360 release because the load times are faster on 360. I've installed the game to my console via an option that's just on the Xbox menu. So I still am using disc, but it's disc with the game loaded to hard drive as well. On PS3, this mission is faster because of differences in draw distance. So certain things explode and release explosives earlier that kill enemies that means you wouldn't have to wait around. So if you want to get world record in this mission, you can on the PS3 version, which I don't recommend playing. And now we get into the point where this is one of the major paradigm shifts in Silver's story. Things change a lot here. Like, a lot. And so what we're going to try to do here is, we're going to head into the station. We're going to try our best to, find exactly where Radical Train is. I want a train that is also radical. And normally you have to do a mission called Mission 11, which is essentially Metal Gear Silver. And we don't really want to do that because the load times themselves are too long. But at this point in the story, you're supposed to get an item called the Heart of Wind. And the Heart of Wind is very broken indeed. The Heart of Wind is this teleport dash move that moves you at 180 meters per second to move 3 feet. It's an instantaneous burst of speed, and then it stops. It's a teleport, hence why. As I mentioned earlier, the stun slap move in this game is a little bit broken, maybe just a tiny amount. So if I do that same momentum conservation with the teleport dash, I get something called the Extended Teleport Dash, or ETD. If I press X the 9th frame after I double tap A, I will be able to do this burst of speed. And this saves us a lot of time. It is a frame-perfect trick, but it's not really difficult in the sense that the frame is the same every time. And that almost golded, by the way. That was a really good clip out. But it means that we can give ourselves the burst of speed needed to clip through a lot of things, and it's Silver's fastest way of moving around without any other objects. Doesn't mean Telethrow is out of the running yet, though. As you'll see here. This is a fun one. Keep your eyes, everyone. Keep your eyes open.
I'm not going to let the English trigger get away.
Oh, come on. Let's try that again. I want to stand lower to the ground here. Push it up to get a steeper angle. And there we go. Throw to my right. For safety. And then I'm going to try to do the ETD. There we go. This is also a super extended teleport dash. We skip the shock bracelet, which means we can hold X and keep that momentum as long as we need. Whoop. I don't want to get damaged here. Don't want to die. So let me just... There we go. And there we go. Radical train done.
Nice. That was really neat.
Yep. And it's also about like 20-30 seconds faster than the previous best time done in RTA. We would previously have to do a really difficult thing on a box if we wanted to get a time that close. But that's really simple, because Telethrow is, again, really easy to learn, but difficult to master. It's perfectly slots into that sort of niche. And now we get Shadow, which is arguably the most annoying boss in the run, I'd argue. Arguably, I'd argue, yes. So what we're going to do here is, it's like Sonic, in that he actually has no invincibility frames. But there are less items to actually throw at him. So we have to sort of plan this wisely. That wasn't bad, it wasn't great either, so I'm gonna pick up these 3, wait for him to get up. Throw 3 again. You know, pick up these 8 in the middle. Takes 24 hits, at 12 hits he'll turn into Red Shadow, our favorite Shadow. So he's now gonna convert into, he's gonna use Chaos Boost, I think it's called? I forget what it is. It's the thing you get from getting the Memory Shard. And he's gonna turn red. And we're just going to try to defeat him. Not bad, not bad. Shadow can be much worse, so... Yep, not bad at all. The thing is, this boss is huge variant point in the run. So this boss can be anywhere from as low as 26 seconds to as high as a minute 15. I've gotten both of those times in runs. So this is about mid-range. This is upper bit of what I would say is fine. If you get into the 50-second time range, you're not going to have so much fun. And since the crowd seems to be asking for it, why don't we just take this time to watch a little bit of a movie together? You know, there's not much going on here, so... Just an inconspicuous... You know, this cutscene seems, I guess, important. We'll just see where it goes.
Chaos
You're welcome.
control.
Anyhow, so now we're gonna go into chronic pace. So this is the only stage where we do not use Telethrow. Telethrow is not a part of this stage. Because there are a lot of inbounds areas, and there are a lot of death planes out of bounds, just out of bounds. That excludes the beginning here, which the beginning here, we're just gonna, whoop, I'm not gonna restart, I'm low on lives. I'm just gonna clip through here. Fly over to here. This is the final room of the first area. This is the final room. Clip through here. And there we go. First section done in 13 seconds. So the ETD is what we see here, because it can be used to clip out of bounds, and it goes real fast. And so we're going to keep on using that. There's unfortunately no setups currently to use Telethrow through the stage. The final room in this area is to our left. The issue with that is there are death planes in front of it. So if I was trying to going left there, I would die. And I don't want to die right now at the moment, thank you very much. Instead, we're going to play Super Monkey Ball for a bit. We're going to go on these science balls. Silver's going to question whether aquatic base was underwater, which is one of my favorite lines. And we're just going to go around like this, wait for this laser, because the science balls will be destroyed by lasers, because, yeah. Clip through here, hopefully? No, okay. Did not get Hope in clip. It's a little bit of a hard one. You need to get the SCTD into there and hope you clip through, hence the name. I'm just going to instead clip through here, jump up. Don't worry about getting hit there, I'm just going to get a ring like that. And we now have a combat section, so if we have the shock bracelet, this would be a lot quicker. one of the easiest ways to get rid of enemies is to stun shock them, and get them just like this. If they have, especially if they have health bars, like these Iblis worms have health bars. Issue is that you don't have a move that can stun immediately. Instead, though, we're just gonna push these worms against these birds when they're stunned, and the game registers as them being in collision, which despawns them. If they're stunned and they're in collision, it despawns. Oh, come on. Well, that didn't work as intended, but that's okay. That one bird, the one bird I aimed for is the one they didn't want to give me. We can just defeat the skull like that, and that's aquatic base. Yeah, we can just use the picked up enemies to destroy the annoying ones that oftentimes fly up into the ceiling. If you didn't do that, you might have to go ahead and like hover and then try to pick up the enemies as you fall from your hover, because you cannot actually interact with other objects in a hover. Which is a little bit, but... And so now we get the other required mission in Silver's story. We've tried everything here that we possibly could to skip this, but unfortunately didn't work out as we hoped. So this is mission 14. It is protect Anna. She knows the secret. And she does know the secret. What is the secret? Old men in Kingdom Valley. Because, yeah, that's the secret. Have a priest. We are there. She tells us about Kingdom Valley and where Sonic might be and where the solution to this plot might be as well. And so we have to help her. We have to rescue her from... We have to help her get through the town. And so we get to talk to this man twice over, and I'll just explain what we do here. So notice how it says protect Anna. Yeah, we're not going to do that. In fact, it's faster to side with the enemies and let her be on her own. But first and foremost, we have the most dangerous enemy of all, which is a bench. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to push Anna away from this bench that she can get stuck on for 2 seconds by curving down left and then pushing to the right to try to get her away from the bench. So let's see if I can do that first. Not close enough. So she can get stuck on that bench, and that takes a little time. In fact, that wastes all the time we could possibly save by doing the rest of this trick, but it's fine. So I'm going to wait here now. There are enemies that can spawn in right ahead of her, or right behind her. As soon as that happens, scare her, and she'll start running faster than she could otherwise. This is why we do not actually protect Anna, because it is faster, significantly so, to let her be scared by the enemies and then go forward and do this twice over. So that was the first time. We're going to do that again. Than it is to actually help her through. That was pretty good speed ups. And so now all the enemies are despawned, and it will continue on to the end of the stage as long as enemies aren't there. And because we're not around her, the enemies don't spawn. So she's just going to walk to the end here, and we're just going to mess about out of bounds. So if you have anything you'd like to mention, Garby, at the moment, feel free to. There's about 40 seconds of that, so we're just going to mess around.
Okay, so I guess I'll just mention that you're watching PUWP 5 2021 currently, and we're running from June 4th to 6th, 24/7, benefiting the Treasure Project. And you can find out more about the Treasure Project by using !charity, and you can donate by typing !donate. And there's also some incentives that you can find by typing !incentives, and you can also see the schedule with schedule.
We got Barrel Captain. That's all. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Barrel Captain is a tradition in 06 where I take that barrel and just put it on a man and then make him run. It's so nice when you get it. It's usually a sign that the rest of the run will go well. So hopefully that holds. We'll see. Low lives at the moment make this a bit scary, because from here on up until the end of the next stage, if I game over, I will have to redo everything here over again. So I'm a little bit tense, admittedly, but we're gonna be good. We're gonna ace this. And so what exactly am I? I'm not nervous about talking to the priest. I don't want to talk to him. What am I nervous about? It's a trick called Trial Skip. So those of you who may have seen me at AGDQ 2020 have seen this trick before. It is incredibly complex, although it might be nullified soon with different timing methods in 06. We're trying to find ways to make it so that we can time 06 without load screens. The only reason that this is faster, what we're going to do, is because of all the load screens that missions come with. So at this point in the story, we're supposed to do 3 different trials of Soliana, 3 different missions, to unlock an eagle that will take us to Kingdom Valley. Essentially, the Kingdom Valley mirror up there is active, which means if we touch it, we'll go to Kingdom Valley. Instead of doing any of the 3 missions, it's actually faster on console to do this. So we're going to hover against geometry, and then I'm going to use levitation extensions, the aforementioned trick where I can maintain my momentum of a hover in my stun slap, to regain my action gauge, which allows me to hover even more. So essentially, we are boosting ourselves up this wall and regaining our hover as we climb. So if you see Silver go up further and the bar actually, increase, that means I'm doing an LE properly. Every one of these is a single frame. I know it doesn't look like that, but every single one of these is. I'm using a claw grip right now, so I'm pressing. My thumb is on A and my index finger is on X. So I'm trying my best to press into X the moment I let go of A, because that's basically the timing for this. And it can be a little tricky, for sure, especially if you have pressure on you, because at this point with how I play Silver, not only does it matter that I get this, I need to get this in good time. Because this is usually the killing point for many people when trying to learn Silver. This saves 2 minutes compared to doing the missions normally, at best. And even if you waste 2 minutes worth of time, you're still saving, usually about a minute. So it's still worth going for if you can do it, but given the number of inputs, I don't blame people for not doing it. So we're going to turn around here, we're going to center the camera back behind us by pressing LT. I'm going to lightly tap to this wall. You might think we're high enough on the second wall there to get to the top. We unfortunately are barely just short. So on here on wall 3, the trickiest wall of all, we're going to try to chain about 10 of them in a row, as to not fall off. This is also the steepest. I'm already hypervent. I'm going to concentrate for a little bit here, making sure the lag doesn't get me, because the lag can force a double input for like the slap, and you'll fall twice as fast. Oh, the lag is getting me. The lag is scaring me. So just against this wall. Okay, we have enough action gauge. And we're gonna hover up again. This is a very weird bit of geometry. What you see is not what you get. This is like think of like a parallelogram that's going upwards, like a trapezoid, rather. It's going to the up left from the bottom right, and you want to stay in the center of it. You want to basically be going straight forward without hitting the ceiling to your top right. If you fall off to the left, you're actually going to be pushed down as you hover. So it's important to get this balance of not being too far to the left, not being too far to the right, just staying in the center and sort of curling up, so that you save the most action gauge with every LE. I'm going to get another full bar here. Yeah, and this is scary because the camera position also matters and will influence the direction you need to hold. I push down from the bottom of my control stick in order to basically force myself to stay up, because Silver is slippery in this. This is not very easy to control. Just gonna get up here, gonna do one more set of refills. As you can see, when I go to the left, I can be pushed down, so it's important to make sure that you aren't too far to the left, nor too far to the right. Stay in the center, and calm, easy strokes. You might be wondering, how am I doing this while commentating the entire time? If I wasn't commentating, I would be much more nervous. And I'm really glad that this seems to be going pretty well. Okay, full bar. I'm now going to tap A upwards and going to get some decent height. And there is a pillar to my left. I'm going to LE to it from here. So I regain my action gauge. And then lightly tap. Hey! Recharge my action gauge twice more. And there we go. That's Trial Skip. So this skips the entirety of those 3 missions and is still faster despite, how much time this seemingly takes and all the inputs. Worthwhile trick to see.
Well done.
Alright, and so you might think, after all that, it's gotta be chill for the rest of the run, right? No, we're getting into new tech right now. So this is Kingdom Valley. I'm gonna do this trick and then I'll explain it. So let's see if I can get it.
Darn it! I should
Okay, nope.
realized Eggman's scheme.
Let me get the health here, the 1-up, and try one more time. I'm gonna be trying this forever because this saves a lot of time, so.
Darn it! I should have
Okay, I was a bit too high there. Throw it there. Radical, yeah. Try this one more. There we go. So that is a tele-launch. Now you might be wondering, what the heck? We have all this tele stuff. Why do we have so much tele stuff in Silver's story? Well, because calling it psycho stuff would not seem nice, because that's actually what it's called, psychokinesis, and I then learned that psychokinesis and telekinesis are actually kind of the same thing. But more importantly, and not a joke answer, tele-launch is based off an older trick called a teleflame. If you pick up an object from afar while standing on top of it, so not lifting but instead picking up different actions. So this is picking up, for instance. If you pick it up while on top of it, it's going to rotate and try to get away from Silver as much as possible. Which in our case means that we can ride come fly on it. At that state, once we get into that state, what's going to happen is the game then allows us to throw the object, which gets it permanently in its thrown state. Once there, we can then lift the object normally, and that will accelerate us skyward really quickly. I'm now doing a setup here for something called Sonic Skip. This is a very difficult trick to get, so let's see if I get it. Oh! Okay, this is the hardest set of telethrows in the game, because I need to angle myself in just the right way. So I'm holding towards the object still, I'm holding up left, but I need to angle Silver with his facing position towards the right, and keep enough height to go over the invisible wall here, and get the SCTD at the end. That is Sonic Skip. We skipped having to switch to Sonic, and now this is the final area of the stage. Ah, first time getting that in one go in a marathon. Very happy. I'm gonna get a ring. I don't want to die. So we're going to avoid the S rank here, because we did not need to defeat the enemies, and so we finished the silver, 138-256. Could have been a little bit faster. I still got the S rank. Dang it. Oh well. Still save time overdoing Sonic normally. That is a hard trick, and I'm very glad that we got that. That was found about 3, because it's so difficult, because if you make one wrong timing, you make one wrong angle input, you're going to jump off the box, and you have to hover over and hope you live. Oh, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. And so it could be really rough in that regard, but... I'm sorry, I just need a bit of a moment there. So now we have Flame Core, the final stage of the run. It's not the... We have a boss after this, of course, but Flame Core is the last main stage. So... we get to do an interesting setup. This is yet another set of telethrows, but it's really unique, honestly. Is the box gonna respawn? Okay, thank you. So this is a spent item capsule. It is geometry, which means I can then adjust the box on it until I get the right exact steepness I need on the other side, this side. I'm gonna lift it up and I'm gonna throw forward into here. And this is skipping quite a lot of the stage, not all of it. I'm going to throw to the left here, and then get more height. And then we're going to do an SCTD, hopefully. Yeah. Into this part of the stage. So we're now into the last bit.
You're not gonna get my way, Iblis.
Oh, at least I got hit here, and not with the Cocoa Puffs, as you can see throughout the stage right now. This is an incredibly good Flame Core right now. So the Cocoa Puffs here are all random. The meteors that fall, we call them Cocoa Puffs because... we like cereal, I guess. They're all random, which means they can even hit you in that automated section right there. You can recover as silver, but you cannot you can recover as silver because you can hover, of course. What you cannot do is recover as Sonic or Shadow. If you get hit there, that's a 90-second time loss. And it basically means run over. But as silver, you can technically recover.
I've definitely seen that happen some in like clips. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious for viewers, not so hilarious for runners. It's a rite of passage, though, so we're going to clip through here. And we're going to do another telethrow. This one also fairly recent, found about 2 weeks ago. So... wow, another capsule here. I wonder if we can do something with this. Maybe just a little bit. We just push this against here to get the right angle. I want it to be facing quite a certain direction. It's not like super precise, but it's better to have it slightly to the right like that, or the left, and then go from here. I think we should be good with this. So I want to get, yet again, a decent steepness. I need pretty high steepness here in order to get the exact thing I want. So adjust slowly back until you can walk on this. That should be good. Yeah, there we go. So that's going through the ceiling over here. There are death planes everywhere, so you need to be careful, though. And there we go, last room of the stage. Up through here. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I don't get hurt. Thank you. Oh, come on. There we go. And this is the last room. This is where Iblis's power is. Iblis, the ball of flame that is Iblis. And we're gonna hover, and we're gonna take damage here. We're gonna damage boost, specifically. We're gonna get hit by the wave here. I'm gonna pause buffer some teleslide. So double tapping A twice is what's known as a teleslide. It allows you to get really good speed on the ground. I almost failed that, and that would have restarted the entire stage, but nope. We can teleslide clip through the bottom right of the door there with our invincibility frames and survive. That's Flamecore, everyone. And that endgame, beautiful. My early game may have been a little bit iffy this run, but that endgame brought it home. For sure. Alright. One more boss. And after all of this run, after everything we've seen thus far, how do you think this game ends? What do you think? We have Iblis, of course. It's gonna be Iblis. But would you have guessed that this is an RNG-based boss in its entirety? Well, no need to guess anymore, because it is. This boss is almost entirely RNG-based. And why is it? Well, because of Cocoa Puffs. So there are a few set Cocoa Puffs on the ground. We did get all 3 on the ground there, so we need to get 3 hits from luck in order to get a 220. That is like the barely acceptable time. These may explode, but they didn't. And I'm gonna throw it at them. Only 2 of those hit, so you can still get quote-unquote lucky and be unlucky. So I need to get so I need to get 1 more from luck. Just 1 more hit from luck in order to get a 220, which is the barely acceptable time. In order to get the fastest time, you would need to get about 13 from luck from these batches, as we call them. Okay, we very, very firmly have a 220, which is the decent time that we can get. The boss ranges anywhere from as slow as like 340 if you get like no hits from luck, really, to as fast as 1 minute and 20, which is if you get 13 hits from luck in the first 2 cycles, the first 2 batches of them, and from then on, you need to make sure that he skips this second wave cycle. There's wave cycles he does here, and if you do it just fast enough, you can get him to skip the wave cycle and go immediately into his facepalm move, as I call it, because that's what we're going to do. And that's the fastest way to beat the boss. It's 1 minute, 25 seconds, and as you can see, that's 1 minute faster than the expected time for Iblis. The expected time, I would argue, is 220. You usually get decent enough luck to get 3 hits from luck. By the way, time will be coming up in a very short amount of time. Not right now, but in about 1 minute, so get ready on time. Alright. So there is a Cocoa Puff that's going to drop from the left here. We're going to pick it up. It normally would disappear. That gives us an additional hit here. That's 5 Cocoa Puffs. And we should be good to defeat him on God Puff, which is this one coming up. So he's going to throw us a giant Cocoa Puff, and we're going to throw it back at him, like it's not Ganondorf. And then that'll be time. We have enough hits from everything already to have time, so...
He's going to try to destroy the foothold from a distance this time. Here it comes.
Get ready. Time. Okay, 46:11 on my end. Considering how far behind we were at certain points, that is a really good recovery. That is a really good recovery.
GG.
I was 3 minutes behind average at trial skip, and I've combed it back down to 2 minutes below average. Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Perfect.
My average is a little bit high. It's actually not that much higher. I thought my average would spike, actually, because of that. My average was 43.59. It's just 44.19 now. Because Wave Ocean Place is so variable, you just expect to do, you know, meh in it. Well, yeah. That is Silver's story, no credits for it. And we get the sad cutscene. I'm gonna probably skip this because we have a glitch exhibition to do, don't we?
Yeah.
How much time do I have for this?
Okay, so let me just look at at the. So let's see. The next run was originally scheduled to start at about 3:20 or so. So you can probably do this for about half an hour or so.
Let's get going then. I think we can do this then. Who's ready for a lot of glitches that you don't see in this run? First of all, I should mention, I've been Focusite, or just Focus. You can follow me on Twitch at Focusite, at the same thing on Twitter. If you're interested in running Sonic 06, you can join our Discord server. You can go to the speedrun.com page, speedrun.com/Sonic06, spelled as you expect, and click Discord there, and you can join our community. I hope that was really entertaining and fun. Wasn't necessarily my best performance gameplay-wise, but I think we had just a really good time. And I want to thank everyone here at Power with Pride for accepting this run, and Garby for hosting, and everyone who's here on as staff for the event. Thank you so much for making this happen, and thank you so much for doing this during Pride Month. Make sure everyone to live your best selves and be your truest self. Don't let anyone tell you that something isn't normal or isn't right. You deserve to find the identity that you want. It's your identity. Own it. So that's just important. I wanted to mention that. So, with that in mind, oh boy, where do I begin? I'm going to do multiplayer last as a good finale, but there are different categories in in 06 in general. And one of the most interesting ones that I really enjoy is a category known as All Gold Medals, or AGM for short. This is getting every single one of the gold medals, which are like the emblems in Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2, in each of the stories, or doing it all together. And if you're wondering, yes, I have done a 180 gold medals run, which is all emblems, basically. It took just under 8 hours, which was less than I expected it to, actually. It's a fun run, but it's a draining one, that one. But I mostly enjoyed the individual story, all gold medals. And so I want to mention some of the strats that we do in Silver's story for all gold medals. Beginning with one of the harder stages, actually, Tropical Jungle here. So all gold medals requires us to get not only every single silver medal in the stage, which are these collectibles that are dotted throughout, you need to also get an S rank in every one of the stages. So it's a lot more about strategy and sort of just knowing your way about the game's scoring system that allows you to get the most use out of it. So I'm going to show off the all gold medal strats here that we do in silver all gold medals for Tropical Jungle. I don't have the teleport dash at this point in the run, of course, so I'm just going to go around. Here's the first silver medal. And I'm going to hover down to over here, land on this log, lift it. The second silver medal we're going to pick up is to our right. Jump early so you can hopefully get pretty close to the ground there. And then we're going to jump over here. Third silver medal is up in the air over here. So we're just going to... I'm lowering the camera because otherwise the game could be much laggier if it tries to spawn in stuff that's in, like, range. Pick up this thing. Throw it like there. Nice, explode that. And you might think we have nothing to telethrow on here. Well, let me introduce you to a flat object that happens to have a really steep curve. I call this plat strats. That's the fourth silver medal, restart. Because in this game, restarting actually doesn't change the silver medal collection. If you've collected a silver medal, you've collected it forever unless you don't save. So you do not need to do that more than, like, once. Which means we have some strats where we literally just go around the stage and do things. So I'm actually now going to telethrow on this box over to a point later in the stage. Just to below here. There is normally a silver medal here. I've collected it in the save file, but imagine I collected a silver medal there. And now we're going to defeat these golems. These are already vulnerable because they have no arms. So you want to do is pick them up and make sure you're not too close to them. Because the issue there is, if they as corpses can still hurt you. For instance, this one here is infamous for doing that, and so you don't want to lose your rings. Rings are a vital part of score attack in this category. Every ring is 100 points if you collect it to the end, and 10 points if you just collect it whatsoever. So keeping rings to the end, if you just keep 10 rings to the end of the stage, for instance, that is 1,000 points. Most S ranks are about 50 points. I'm gonna try to go underneath here, if I can. Get the rings here.
I wish I could go up.
Gonna try something for here. I don't know if I'll get it. I didn't quite get it. That's okay. I wanted to aim for the enemy to show you that this is just literally the object's normal aiming mechanics that we are manipulating here with telethrows. I'm gonna go over here to the left. There's a silver medal in the air. Avoiding the bullets where possible. If you drop or lose rings at any point, or if you like get hit fully, not like a hit from those stray bullets. Those I forget what it's called, but those individual small bullets, they'll take one hit each, one ring each. But if you get full on hit, that only leaves you with 20 rings at most. So you want to make sure you're keeping your damage in check. So I'm gonna go down here, get this silver medal. I am very low on action gauge, but you can see I can still make it. Trick shot there. Hover to here. The last silver medal in the entire area is underneath this pillar, but before I actually telethrow with this to the end, spoiler, we're going to telethrow with this to the end, I'm going to get underneath, get the invincibility, and the medal, and we're going to go over here to mention yet another thing in 06 that people don't know about, really, is that there are something called leaders. So there are groups of enemies in certain points, and oftentimes they might have a leader like that, who, if you destroy them, will destroy the entirety of the set. In that case, it destroyed the red enemy and those 2 golems, which is pretty useful. Okay, I don't have a good angle for this, so that's not very nice. I can still manage, I think. So we're just gonna telethrow with this to the end. And there we go! That should be an S rank, I'm thinking. No, it's not. Oh well. Oh, it is! Sick. Okay, so that is an all gold medals, a taste of all gold medals right there. What you do and what you have to think. Even in early game silver, a lot of stuff to do there. A lot of things you can show off, and it's a really tense run because, oh, do you get the S rank? Oh, did you get all the silver medals? And I did both of them here, so I'm happy with that.
Nice.
I'm going to show off another thing that we do in all gold medals, which is one of my favorite sets of strats in the game. So this is Dusty Desert, and in this stage, we did the pot strat, the one that was really quick, where we clipped out of bounds and telethrew ourselves on a pot. We do that in all gold medals, actually, when we get to this stage, because silver doesn't have much kit at the point we play this. So, instead of, for instance, trying our best to go around as Amy, as you've seen before, we have to play as Amy if we did that, which is instead of doing that, we come back to the stage later to collect the silver medals. And this is the best silver medal routing in the entire game. So I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna lift up this pot, let it rotate on its own. By the way, these pots rotate on their own. I did not mention that. I have no control how they rotate. So I just have to sort of scan the right distance and let the game rotate them right, and then I can push it in just to get the right setup. A little bit annoying, but it works. Into here, and that's the first silver medal. Clip out into here. Whoop. Try that again. Clip out into here. This area is now where we're gonna go. I want to destroy this enemy. Make sure it isn't around. Trick shot. Oh, trick shot. Yeah. We want to break this one. Second silver medal. So I'm gonna go from here. Teleport dash to here because now we have the teleport dash. We didn't have it in the main game. That's why we go back to the stage. Go into here. And now we're going to align for a jump, and we're gonna skip on water. That skips Amy's section, now we're in Amy's section of silver. Why are we in Amy's section of silver? How do I know? Just a feeling. So the third silver medal's here. This trick is really cool. Let's see if I get it. Ooh. Never saved that before. Never saved that before, but there we go. 2 really tense SETDs to clip through to here and get the 4th medal. Sick. Oh, that's cool. I'm saying that's cool, but it's really cool. We're gonna clip in through here and go over to here. 5th silver medal. Pick up this box. This is all Amy's section, by the way, now. We're not supposed to be here as silver. And from here, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna go from the middle of Amy's section all the way to Silver's section. This is later in Silver's section. Pick up this enemy, we're gonna let it break into this for us so we can get the silver medal, and then we're gonna clip through.
Those enemies look like they're guarding that door.
Checkpoint here. That's okay. Go through here, get this bit. This is a refill. We don't see them very often in the game, but they do exist. So, medal there. I can clip through here. I don't need to use the door, but I might just use the door just to be easier, but there we go. Silver medal here, 8. Clip through here. Silver medal to our right, 9. And The ball puzzle, the infamous ball puzzle. Yeah, we don't need to do it, fortunately. And I know I will not do it as the glitch exhibition. Put through here, get the silver medal right here, and finish the stage. There we go. That was an excellent showing of that. 225 is incredibly good. 25 is incredibly good for a revisit for that. Okay, and so that's really just a taste of what all gold medals is. I'm gonna show one more thing related to all gold medals, though.
Perfect.
This is something that most people who play the game would never know. And I think even most runners don't really know of this. But in 180 gold medals, we do something called Silver's Silver Medal Adventure, or Silver's Medal Adventure, Silver's Medal Adventure. So in the hub worlds, there are silver medals as well. There are a total of 30 of them per character, a total of 90. And you need to collect 5 in the forest, 5 in New City, which is the hub world where it has the funky music, and 20 in Castletown for every character. Now, that is segmented per character, and it's normally impossible to get other characters' medals as a different character. For instance, you can't normally get Shadow's medals as Sonic at all. But Silver here has a little bit of a special thing, a little bit of a special something that I really want to show, because most people just genuinely don't know this. And it's quite incredible what they did here. We're gonna go on to mission 6, I believe it is. Yeah, mission 6, which is the Soliana water target tournament, which is apparently a tradition, where you throw apples. Yes, apples. You throw apples at a bunch of targets like it's Melee, but more fruit based. So over here is this man. This is what's his name again? Porta. And he wants to help us out here. So I'm going to press A going into this. And then on the load screen, I'm going to hold X. This is known as breakout, or just as breakout typically. At this point, I'm holding X, and so unlike the frame buffered input, this is going to ensure that X is put first frame and held, which is Silver's stun slap. And that takes priority over talking. So I'm not a bounce. What's weird about this, what's really strange about this, is this hub world has not only all of Silver's medals, which are obviously you'd expect, not only all of Silver's medals, but all of Shadow's medals in the hub world and all of Sonic's medals in the hub world as well. So in this, we literally get all of the medals. This is a Shadow medal right here. This is one of Shadow's medals. I collect it, Shadow counts. It counts for Shadow. There's a dog over here, by the way. Hi, doggy. Thank you, doggy. That's Sonic's medal. There's also a bunch of copycats, as we call them. These are NPCs that have no set text, so when I press them, it just zooms in on their face, and nothing happens. But if you have a text box stored, or if you've talked to someone before, it will then pull up that text instead. There's some interesting stuff we can do with that, for sure. Okay, at this point, yeah, this is Silver's silver medal, that makes sense, but literally we can collect all of them, as everyone, and they count. Every single one of them counts. Which is what we do in 180 gold medals. It's better to do this than have to play through Shadow's section, because the order we do the stories in is Sonic's main game, Silver's main game, Shadow's main game, the revisits for everyone, because you have to get S ranks in hard mode as well, and then any other cleanup you have thereafter, before going to last story, of course. And how do I know this is essentially like all the ones at once and not just a fluke or something? Well, there's this one medal that's in all 3 stories. Actually, I think there's a spring over here. Is there? Yeah, there's a spring. There's a medal that's placed in very slightly different locations in all 3 stories, and it's right here. I think I collected one of them before Shadow. But you have the Sonic one. Silver one's there, Sonic one is here. And there's another one over here. Again, I think this file has Shadows collected, unfortunately. So I can't see the double one. And this one doubles up, because this is an identical location in both Sonic and Shadow. So you'd see 2 of them spinning here. Unfortunately, I already collected Shadow's medals there. And so we would collect about 30... Depending upon how the run went before, in a 180 gold medals run, we would collect about 30 to 40 silver medals here. And that would be the entirety of the hub world. Whoop. Someone called me on Telegram by accident. Whoops. And that's Silver Medal Adventure. All this stuff is just in the mission, and you can just, once you're done collecting all the medals, you can just talk to Porta again and do the mission. I'm not going to do the mission here because I don't want to restart the save or have to reload anything. And so that's pretty much all I want to talk about with all gold medals. But I will mention a few other things as the other characters so far. The ones we didn't get to see in the run. Sonic's story and Shadow's story. So something really neat of Sonic's and Shadow's story that I want to talk about. Let's see. This is also related to all gold medals, actually. This is a pretty neat trick that a lot of people aren't aware of because, again, not many people see all gold medals. Each of the individual stories are at least 2 hours in all gold medals, but I think it's a worthwhile one because you get to. It's very dense and intense. So here is Shadow. There are a few different things I can talk about. Pause clips are probably the most prevalent one I want to mention first. So a Shadow, if you press A and start at the same frame, what that will do is it'll do a pause buffer. It will pause buffer the homing attack on the ground and allows you to clip through certain things if you are aligned in the right angle and, you know, have the right speed. I'm not gonna get on this bike here. It's a pretty cool bike. I'm a cool dude, and I'm gonna just go forward. Ah, just barely. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is skip all this enemy combat. And how I'm gonna do that is by abusing a trait of the bike, and of all vehicles, in fact, where there is an animation once you load into them. So I'm gonna try to align myself here. Okay, I'm gonna do this one more time, and if it fails, I'll just explain exactly what we do. Because I don't have all the time in the world, and I still want to show multiplayer. Okay, third time's the charm. Let's go. Let's do this. Align myself. There we go. So we clip through. So what happens there is the bicycle is not. The bicycle continues on. It continues forward, and we have not spawned in the cage yet or the spring around it. We time ourselves to re-enter the bike at just the right moment so that we spawn into it as we're inside the cage, or would be inside the cage. And that unlocks it for us, allowing us to skip all that section. Pretty neat. And we can just homing attack through there because why not? And it's Silver, our best friend. Let's see if I can do something cool. No, I can't. Never mind.
There must be a switch for the door ahead. Leave this up to me.
All right, and so something with Sonic? Something interesting with Sonic. Ooh, okay. I'm just trying to think of the cool tricks we can show off here. I'm going to show off the first section of Aquatic Base. So Aquatic Base is the most tech-heavy part of Sonic's story because we have all the gems. The gems are switchable actions that you can do by pressing the D-pad and then pressing RT as we would lift or interact with things as Silver. So you can buy certain gems throughout the run, and the ones we buy in Sonic's story are Sky Gem, White Gem, Blue Gem, and if you're doing all stories, Purple. But Purple's not necessary in Sonic's story alone. The Blue Gem gives us a burst of speed. And so you can see right here, we're just going to go through these things really quickly, kicking underneath lasers where possible. I'm going to switch to White Gem. White Gem is a buffered homing attack. It essentially acts as a homing attack, but it's on our RT button, which allows us to do something called Serb Clips. So there's this, if you do a homing attack first frame on the ground, it allows you to convert your momentum into ground speed, that allows you to clip through objects. And so we're basically just swapping through gems at a good pace here to get to the stage. And then the Sky Gem. Well, what the Sky Gem does is it essentially throws Sonic to wherever it lands. So I'm going to jump, throw. I'm going to aim for over here. This is the start of Silver section, if you recall. The Silver section starts over here. It's in fact, we went backwards from where we were previously. Just Sky Gem through here, because we have enough speed for the Sky Gem. It just gives us enough speed that we actually don't need to worry about, like, clipping or walls or anything. And there you go. 58 seconds, not bad. And so Aquatic Base is full of that sort of stuff. A lot of really fast-paced gem play, which makes it super, super interesting. I'm going to quit from here, and we're going to do one more thing. We're going to go right ahead, and we're going to finally start multiplayer, everyone. Who's ready? Who is ready? Who's ready for this? I'm ready. I'm so excited to show this off. Some of you didn't realize that the multiplayer was in the game. Many more of you likely didn't realize that it was in Breaking Bad. Quite literally, this was shown in Breaking Bad. If you weren't aware, now you know. So I'm gonna go to Wave Ocean as Sonic and Silver. Really important here that we do these two characters first. So what we're gonna do is we're going to. This is going to be interesting. Are you still here, Garby?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think I've shown you this before, but I think it's still worthwhile to see where it goes because
Yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah, I'm excited to see this.
So I'm gonna play as Sonic for a little bit. So you know, our favorite blue hedgehog boy. Yeah, woo! He does things. He has gems, and unlike most things, since we're in multiplayer mode, the game doesn't do a full refresh if you manage to like die or something, and that's really important here. So I'm gonna get this checkpoint here, and I'm going to hold the red gem. Red gem slows down the game, everything in the game by half. So I'm holding the red gem. What do you expect to happen, chat? What do you expect to occur in all this? When I respawn, what's gonna happen? If you guessed Sonic is now 2 times faster in everything he does, well, you'd be right. Every animation, every single action is now 2 times faster. I don't even hold a gem. So you can see here, by the way, this might have some visual warning. There might be some things that can lead in the showcase in this multiplayer part that can lead to some people who have photosensitivity. So be careful when watching this. I'm going to say this right now before anything else gets out of hand. We can literally just like walk through certain things. We're so fast that we can just walk through or homing attack through certain walls. See? I'm out of bounds, and I can just do that again. Sonic's normal homing attack can do this with this glitch. And everything, I mean, everything is faster. Everything, all his recovery animations, and I can also get the speed shoes. If you really want to make things really, really fast.
Nice.
It breaks automation in a lot of parts, but sometimes it doesn't, and we get this. Oh my god, it's trying. It actually succeeded, which is surprising. I don't usually see the entirety of it succeed, but it worked there. So to correct this, we just have to hold the red gem again. And it's fine. He's fine now. He's all good. He's all good. I'm gonna go here as silver, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna just hover up and die, please. Okay. So now I'm gonna get Sonic and Silver to both be dead. They're gonna be in the same location. And I'm gonna pick up Sonic because I think he's cool. I think it's cool to pick up hedgehogs. If you thought, well, whatever you think might happen here, I don't think anyone expect. Oh, is it a wrong angle? Oh, maybe not on this platform then. Maybe not on this platform. Let's see. Oh, not on this platform. Interesting. That's new to me. Usually that works instantaneously, but it's actually platform dependent, as I've learned now. Interesting. So that was boring. We had a farce there. I'm sorry. I think it has to be on flat ground. Oh yeah, we are considering multiplayer runs at some point, for reference. I really want to do a full-on multiplayer run, because that'll be fun. Because the unfortunate thing is, most of the time you could probably do it faster as one character than with two, but we can figure out something around the way. There are people who actually want to run that, and I'm sorry to say that I'm one of them. It would be interesting to say the least, because there is a tag mode, which is co-op. This is the battle mode, so I can select stages. Okay, this checkpoint in particular will work. I'm aware. I'm certain it will work. So, I'm gonna die here as Silver, gonna die here as Sonic. And now, if I pick up Sonic, he becomes tiny and flat. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. He becomes tiny and flat. You can see his oblong. He's actually oblong. I'm not, like, joking there at any point. He's actually oblong. And slightly flat. Everything he does, by the way, is also slightly flat. You can see the bounce bracelet, the mechanic there. And I could just, you know, become tiny and flat, and that, does that make sense? And now I'm gonna actually tilt him a little bit. Just a smidge. We're gonna tilt Sonic. I clipped through the death plane, don't worry about that. I'm gonna jump as Silver and pick him up like that. So he's less flat now, but he's still flat, and he's at an angle, which means his homing attack goes upward. That's kind of funny already, but that's not actually what I want to talk about. here's what I want to talk about. The gravity skewing allows Sonic to skip on water, just of his own volition. And so now we have slightly wide, flat Sonic skipping at us on water. Slightly wide, flat, tiny Sonic skipping at us on water. Sonic constantly throwing the Sky Gem on water. Sonic slightly slow and on water. The Blue Gem does nothing. That's not the end of our fun, though. We're gonna do one more thing here, and I might show off one more thing as Shadow. I think we have a time for just one more thing after that. This is, I'm gonna warn people here, this might cause some, this is the most photo, well, I'm gonna do this one normally first, so we can throw Sonic as Silver. And for whatever reason, that thrown state means that Sonic can skip on water. So what we're gonna do here, throw him, and this is gonna get us to the end of the stage, if I've angled myself right. Or very near. Very close, it won't be exactly on there. And then we're gonna enter inbounds again, whoop. Camera didn't like that. And if I wanted to, I could just tilt to my left here, into the goal ring. It's right behind me. I'm not gonna do that though, we're gonna do one more thing. As Sonic, at least. So Sonic has the purple gem, which allows him to go small and tiny, but it resets the camera as you use it. This is the point where big flashing lights warning. Big flashing lights warning. I'm gonna go tiny and grabby mode. So, the camera doesn't know what to do. It can't keep up with Sonic. So, once we get back inbounds, the camera's gonna do something very strange. Nice panoramic view of the wave ocean we got here. And there we go. I don't think I have time to show off the Shadow one, but Shadow can also turn small, and it's funny because of his Chaos Sphere, but there we go. Sonic wins in Silver's story. But whatever. That is the glitch exhibition. That was really fun. That was genuinely really fun. And I'm really happy I can just ad-lib this sometimes, because I did not plan... I planned the last 10 minutes, of course, but I didn't plan the 25 before. So hopefully that was an enjoyable taste of everything that 06 has to offer. There's quite a lot in this game, and I think a lot of people sometimes sleep on this because they think, oh, bad game, it's bad game is bad. But don't let anyone tell you that, because any game could be anything as a speedrun. And 06 here, beautiful as a speedrun. Honestly, it's like a fine wine. And as a result, I really recommend watching more 06 runs. I have my 180 gold medals run on YouTube. I did that for really, really long-a-thon. And yes, I did commentate for 8 hours solo. You can hear it in the 6-hour mark. But more importantly, make sure you keep on donating to the Trevor Project. They're really good people over there, and I'm really glad that we have a marathon like this to support LGBTQ rights. It's just incredible that we've raised so much money already. I'm really hopeful we can hit 10K by tomorrow, but we'll obviously see. You'll actually see me tomorrow again as well. This is not the end of Focus here. I am running either Mega Man Extreme 1 or Mega Man Extreme 2, depending on whether or not you guys want to bet on it, or donate to it. Bet. If you want to donate to it, there's a bid war for that. And so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. But for now, thank you so much. I'm glad this was a really fun way to end the Sonic block. Congrats again to Argic on his PB, and congrats to Cupcakes on their world record. And thank you so much for having me, staff and everyone at Power of Pride. I'll see you guys around tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much for that run. That was a lot of fun. So this was my last run as hosting, but it was a lot of fun hosting. So coming up next, the next host will be Xandra. So stick around for that. That'll be fun. So bye everyone.